Hi everybody, it's Maho, and in today's video I'm going to explain adjectives, ed adjectives and ing adjectives, and passive voice. So to start with adjectives, we already know what an adjective is. It's basically what describes a person, a situation, or an animal, or a thing, and we have a lot of types or kinds of adjectives, but here we're going to talk about adjectives ending with ed or ing and ing. So with ed, adjectives are basically the ones that describe our feelings and how we feel about a situation or a person. With ing adjectives, this describes a thing or a person that has an effect on us. For instance, we have the sentence, I feel bored at the party. That means that the party was boring, so that made me bored. And another example could be today's lesson was so interesting. So basically, the lesson interested me, so it made me feel interested because it was interesting. So one affect the other, and yeah, well, that's basically how they work. It's not that hard, it's really easy. And here I'll give you some adjectives that are the ones that are more usually commonly see. So yeah, for instance, amazed comes to amazing, boring, depressed, depressing, frustrated. How I feel right now, frustrating. Yes, that's everything. And here I will give you also an exercise for you to do, um, and I will give you the answers. You can stop the video and do the exercise by your own, and then I'll give you the answers and why they are that way, and that's it. So pause the video, I'll give you the answers right away. Now the answers for the questions were basically for the ones that end with ing, that are the 1, 2, and 4 question, were because in that cases the sentences were referring specifically to the situation, how the situation was. So if the situation, for in the first one, it was they were referring to a suggestion. In the second one, they were referring to a new, and the fourth one, they were referring to a situation too. There was the situation that that person was always late, so that situation was annoying. And in the third one, and by the other hand, was how a person felt about something, so that make her or make him felt embarrassed. So that's why it's with ed or and not ing. Now, passive voice. First, we must know its structure. It's a well. You have two structures. One is for simple tenses, and the other is for continuous tenses. In simple tenses, we have present simple, past simple, present perfect simple, and future. Its structure is for positive form. We have subject plus verb to be plus verb in past participle. In the negative form, we have a subject plus verb to be plus not plus verb in past participle. And with an interrogative form, we have verb to be plus subject plus verb in past participle. This structure is going to be the same for all simple tenses. The only thing that changes is, of course, the verb to be, depending on the tense we are talking. So if it's in present simple, it's going to be is, are, and am. And if it is in past simple, it's going to be was or were. And in present perfect, it's going to be with have or has. And if it is if it is in future, it would be will or will not or won't. And yes, that's it. In continuous tenses, the structure changes a little bit, and it's this one. Well, for positive form, we have subject plus verb to be plus word being plus the verb in past participle. In negative form, we have a subject plus verb to be plus not plus the word being plus the verb in past participle. And interrogative form, we have the verb to be plus the subject plus being plus the verb in past participle plus question mark, of course. And the same. The only thing that changes in continuous tenses that are present continuous and past continuous is the verb to be, depending if it's present or past. And probably you are wondering what's the difference between a passive voice and the active voice. Well, then in active voice, it's really common that the subject is the one that do the verb or the action. It's the doer in the sentence. But in passive voice, it's not that way. For example, And for example, for active voice, it would be the firefighter rescued the child. So the firefighter is the subject, rescue the verb, and well, complement. But in passive voice, an example could be a child was rescued by a firefighter. So the child will be the subject, the rescue, the verb. But as you can see, the child is not the doer. The child that is the subject is not the doer. In this case, the doer is the firefighter. And when we want to say the action that makes the verb in a sentence in passive voice, we use by at the end. So as you saw in the example, the child was rescued by the firefighter. So the firefighter is the doer, and we're going to use by to say who the doer is. Well, some reasons why the passive voice is used is basically, well, one of them is because in passive voice they focus on the action, not in the doer. So the important thing in the sentence is the action. For instance, we have Jackson won the Olympic gold medal. That's active voice. But in passive voice, we don't care about Jackson. We care about the Olympic gold medal. So the Olympic gold medal was won, and it's optional to add if it was by Jackson. At the end by Jackson, it's optional. Also, we use passive voice when we don't want to know, as you saw, about the doer. It's not important, or you don't know who was the person that did the action. In our case, when we use passive voice, it's when the doer of the action is kind of obvious, or when it's like people in general. So we can, in this example, dozens of people were arrested. We already know that people is being arrested by the police. So yes, or when we have the example, Spanish is spoken in 20 countries. It's not necessary to say that Spanish is spoken by people, because that's obvious. Something important to say is that we often use the passive voice in really formal situations, for instance, the news, and well, in more informal situations, the active voice is pretty more common. So now I will give you some exercises to do, and to do it by your own. Then I will give you the answers and explain them a little bit, and yeah, so I'll give you a few seconds to stop this video and do the exercises. So basically, you have to recognize the tenses were used in each sentence, and apply the structure for each tense. The first one, every year, we can see that's present simple. So every year, 1,100, 2,000 people are injured in road accidents. The second one, we can see it's an action is not finished, so it's present perfect. So the research of the missing man continues. Up until now, no clues have been found. The third one, at the moment, we can see that's present continuous. So at the moment, a new shopping center it's being built in the town center. In the fourth one, we can see it's past. It's talking about a past situation. Nearly $1 million were stolen during the robbery. Yeah, and the fifth one, we can see in the end of the sentence next year. So it's a future tense. We will use will. The council say the work will be completed next year. And that's it. That's everything for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you did great in those exercises. And thank you. Bye.